he opened the world to a different law. On a hillside overlooking Galilee, around 30 years ago, in the 1st century, a teacher named Jesus gathers ordinary people. You will hear the heart of his kingdom teaching and see what it demands of every life. This is Jesus of Nazareth, a teacher and healer in his 30s. He speaks with authority like an interpreter of God, calling people to live as if God's reign already arrives among them. On the mountain slope a crowd gathers, moved by word and wonder. People from towns and farms press forward. They sense a shift. He speaks not to debate law but to show a way to live under God's rule. He begins with blessings for the poor in spirit and the meek. In that moment, his words flip expectations. Those who mourn, who hunger for righteousness, who are merciful, are declared blessed because they reflect God's coming reign and will inherit its life. As the crowd listens, he calls them salt and light. In that moment, he defines identity. Disciples influence the world by preserving goodness and by visible acts of love, showing what God's rule looks like among people. Then he addresses the law. In that moment, he does not abolish it but fulfills it. He points out that true obedience springs from the heart, not mere outward conformity, and he raises the bar from rules to inner integrity. As listeners stir, he warns that anger can condemn like murder. In that moment, he teaches reconciliation. The road to worship passes through mending relationships. He demands quick, humble repair of harm as part of living under God's reign. When the crowd murmurs about adultery, he goes deeper. In that moment, he insists purity begins in desire. He calls radical steps to guard the heart, showing that faithful kingdom living reshapes how people see others and themselves. As questions come about marriage and oaths, he insists on faithfulness and plain truth. In that moment, he rejects loose promises and casual divorce and insists speech must be simple and honest because kingdom people embody integrity. When some ask about retaliation, he breaks the cycle. Do not return evil for evil. In that moment, he radicalizes love by commanding care for enemies and prayer for persecutors. He shows the kingdom defeats evil with generous nonviolence and God's mercy. Then he turns to devotion. Giving, prayer, and fasting must be humble and unseen. In that moment, he criticizes spectacle and offers a secret way to connect with the Father, teaching the Lord's Prayer as a model of dependence and kingdom priorities. As some fret about wealth, he says to store treasure in heaven, not on earth. In that moment, he links trust to generosity. The eye and the heart guide life. He points to birds and lilies to teach dependence on a caring Father. When disputes arise, he warns against hypocritical judgment and offers a different posture, persistent asking, seeking, and knocking. In that moment, he promises a generous Father who gives good gifts to those who depend on him. Then he gives the golden rule and speaks of the narrow gate. In that moment, he encapsulates kingdom ethics. Treat others as you wish to be treated, and choose the path that demands commitment over the broad way that leads to destruction. As attention grows, he warns against false prophets whose fruit betrays them. In that moment, he teaches discernment. True disciples bear good fruit and obey his words, not merely performances or clever speech. Then he closes with a parable of two builders. In that moment, he ties words to life. Hearing his teaching without obedience is like building on sand. Putting his words into practice is building on rock and surviving the storms of life. When he finishes, the crowd reacts in mixed ways. In that moment, some are astonished at his authority, others are challenged. The hillside is heavy with choice. Will people live what they heard or return to familiar comforts? As the hillside disperses, some privately resolve to act. In that moment, Jesus' teaching becomes communal ethic. The kingdom shapes families, neighbors, and public life when individuals choose faithful obedience day by day. When the mountain quiets, the sermon stands clear. Kingdom living is interchange made public through mercy, righteousness, and trust in God. It calls obedience that reshapes relationships and society. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one.